our hot topic for this evening as well. And it certainly is a hot topic because days before the Miami Grand Prix, Mario Andretti has made a surprise trip to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. to meet with a
bipartisan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bipartisan group of lawmakers from the House of Representatives. I'm a British person. I don't know American politics. Why am I giving this one? So I apologize to everybody watching if I butcher your fantastic Senate. So, with Formula One rejecting Andretti Global's bid to join the F1 grid in the coming years, Mario traveled to DC seeking help from an effort led by Representative John James from Michigan. Now, this trip comes as Michael Andretti is expected to meet with F1 officials this week in Miami. Now, according to congressional reporter Benjamin S. Wes from Cortege News, in a letter written by lawmakers to Liberty Media Gregory Maffei, it's suggested that the company might have violated U.S. antitrust law by enforcing unreasonable restraints on market competition. Now, Congressman James opened the door for the possibility of getting Liberty Media executives to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee to answer questions if Andretti and Cadillac aren't approved. But he really hopes it doesn't come to that. Am I doing okay, Kobe?
Yes, you are.
Excellent. Don't want to make a mistake here because it's very much a topic. Now, Congresswoman Victoria Sparks, as well, from Indiana, added that it would be in F1's interest to improve Andretti's bid. They suggest that they should be encouraged them to join it, not trying to make it more difficult. A link to this article is in the video description and a focus of Representative John James' office as well. Now let's take a look at this letter written by lawmakers directly to Liberty Media, posted by Benjamin S. West on X. Now, it reads, Dear Mr. Maffei, we write to express our concerns with apparent anti-competition actions that could prevent two American companies, Andretti Global and General Motors, brackets GM, close brackets, comma, from producing and competing in Formula One. This partnership, which includes GM and the thousands of its workers who we represent, would showcase exceptional American engineering and design skills, including the production of the only American-built and designed engine, brackets, power unit, close brackets, in Formula One. Last year, the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, brackets FIA, close brackets, the sole and independent arbiter of entry into F1, approved Andretti Global to enter Formula One racing starting in 2026. However, despite FIA's approval of the Andretti Global partnership, Formula One Management, brackets FOM, that's FOM, brackets, the commercial rights holder, owned by Liberty Media Corporation, rejected Andretti Global's admission. FOM's rejection appears to have been driven by the current lineup of European Formula One race teams, many of which are affiliated with foreign automobile manufacturers that directly compete within American automotive companies like GM. It is unfair and wrong to attempt to block American companies from joining Formula One, which could also violate American antitrust laws. Participation of all Formula One teams, including any American teams, should be based on merit and not just limited to protecting the current lineup of race teams. This is especially true considering Formula One's growing presence in the United States, including 3 Grand Prix motor racing events in Miami, Florida, Austin, Texas, and Las Vegas, Nevada. As members of Congress, we request you answer to the following questions. These are the following questions. I'm zooming much on my phone there. 1. Under the Concord Agreement, Formula One's governing document, up to 12 teams can participate. Currently, there are 10 teams competing in Formula One races. Previously, the FIA launched and led a comprehensive application process with the purpose of allowing one or more prospective teams to join Formula One racing series. Andretti Global, with its partner GM, submitted an application, and after receiving 4 applications, the FIA approved Andretti Global. Under what authority does FOM proceed to reject admission of Andretti Global? Question mark. What is the rationale for FOM's rejection? especially with respect to Andretti Global and its partner GM, potentially being the first American-owned and America-built race team? Question mark. Number 2. The Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890 outlaws unreasonable restraints on market competition to produce the best outcome for the American consumer. How does FOM's denial of Andretti Global and GM, American-owned companies, close comma, square with Sherman Act requirements, since the decision will benefit incumbent racing teams and their foreign automobile manufacturing affiliates? 3. We understand that GM intends to reintroduce its Cadillac brand into the European market, which would support thousands of good-paying American automotive jobs, especially with Formula One's worldwide audience and its halo effect on its teams and sponsors. How much did GM and Andretti's entrance into racing competition, taking a portion of the racing market share, and GM's entry into the European market, taking market share, each play into the decision to deny admission to the Andretti Global team, given the public outcry of incumbent Formula One team against a new American competitor? Question mark. This is the interesting bit. We request your response by May 3rd, 2024, as we continue to exercise oversight on this matter, and with the appropriate federal regulators to ensure that any potential violations of U.S. anti-competition laws are expeditiously investigated and pursued. So, Kobe, starting with you, will having support from Congress help advance Andretti Global and Cadillac's efforts to finally get approval to join the Formula One grid, or will it further complicate things?
I'm glad we're on this topic now, Josh, because I just got a statement from Andretti Global. They said, "We are grateful to the bipartisan members of Congress for their support in challenging this anti-competitive behavior. We remain committed to bring in the first U.S. works team and power unit to Formula One and to give American fans a home team to root for. It is our hope that this will be resolved swiftly so that Andretti Cadillac can take its rightfully approved place on the grid in 2026. Our work continues at pace." So a strong statement there from Andretti Global. And they've also continued to hire people at their new base in the UK as well. So Andretti is moving forward as if they're going to be on the F1 grid. I truly believe that Andretti Global and Cadillac will be on the Formula One grid some way, somehow. And by Mario Andretti going to U.S. Congress here on Capitol Hill, I say, what do you have to lose, right? It's like you're doing this and that, trying to get approval by Formula One. The FIA is already behind you. It's just FOM who just won't approve you. And he's Michael Andretti's having to jump through a lot of hoops to make this happen. So I don't necessarily, see this as a bad thing, meeting with lawmakers or anything like that. I think at this point, the Andrettis are willing to do whatever it takes to claim their spot on the Formula One grid, and I think Michael Andretti is not going to stop, and Mario's not going to stop. They're gonna go to extreme lengths if they have to try to get approval on the grid, and I think that Mario Andretti is a trip to Washington. I believe that he's gaining some new allies, as I said at the top of the show, and if it comes down, to it, where we have to get into a courtroom or having to drag Liberty Media executives in front of the House Judiciary Committee to answer questions, I think the Andrettis are willing, to do whatever it takes. And since they have strong support right now in Capitol Hill, I think they just added some more ammunition to this firefight that's going on between them and Formula One management.
Yeah, we talked about the Adrian Newey story is going to be big news in the paddock tomorrow. This could be the big news in the paddock on fall. Probably will be, depending on what the answer back will be on Friday. We talked about this at length. You mentioned the hoops, Kobe, that Michael and the team are having to go through. They found the biggest hoop of all, potentially, and now they're going to try and prize their way through it. And not force their way onto the grid, but kind of give Formula One management and not much choice. We'll just have to, again, we've said it a lot tonight, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And Friday we'll get potentially another step on this. I wasn't very when I heard this was happening today. It was like, oh, really? Now we've seen the statement. The ball is back in the court of Liberty and everything else. So, what will they do if they allow the team in? Yeah, come in, fine, but there won't be any American Grand Prix. Who knows what the ball is all kinds of shapes at the moment. We'll have to wait and see how it how it turns out, and it will be interesting to see what Liberty's response, if any, will be. I kind of feel like there may be no response, and then we'll get into a really, really sticky situation over the next little while. But again, we'll wait and see what comes out on Friday. Back to our political correspondent, Josh Birch.
I should have got the Congress behind me as well. That would have been funny as a green screen.